Welcome back. Today is a good day for me as Valve has officially announced 3 new pieces of hardware. They did announce a new Steam controller and a new Steam machine. Those are back. And a SteamFrame, the VR headset. For me, I plan on probably buying all 3 of these. And all 3, and the Steam machine is obviously running SteamOS, and so is the VR headset, even though it is ARM based. But Valve has been working on stuff to get Proton running through ARM to translate Windows games into Vulkan, but on ARM, using the FEX framework that they've been committing code to. The Steam controller is actually something good that I do want because I do like the controller on the Steam Deck itself. But the one thing I've definitely been waiting for the most is a new Steam machine, because I did plan on building a new home theater PC next year. And honestly, because this is coming out now, I'm actually going to wait and just focus on, for now, building a network attached storage with a huge amount of storage for all my DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4K Blu-rays. Because with the Steam machine running SteamOS, I can install things like Kodi or something else for streaming movies, music from a network attached storage. But I do like, the biggest thing I like the most is with the Steam controller and on the controller for the VR headset. The analog sticks are actually TMR analog sticks because they are electromagnetic, so they should never get analog drift. So that is something I do look forward to, because I was also thinking of replacing my Xbox controller. And now actually I think I'm going to go ahead and wait until this controller comes out. For sure, I'll probably end up buying 2. I still have my original Steam controller. Have not used it in a couple of years though, but this is something I definitely look forward to. It looks very good, comfortable, especially for someone like me that has big hands. And I do like that it is going to work with the Steam frame, but also any computer, whether it's Windows, Mac, Linux, or the Steam Link app. But this is something I definitely look forward to. With this as the Steam controller, I definitely plan on getting this for sure. The Steam machine is another thing I plan on definitely doing instead of building myself a home theater. The only thing I did worry about is the specs. With it, it is a 6-core, 12-thread CPU. It's got 16 gig of SODIMM RAM, actually, which I believe is user replaceable if you remove the heat sink in the system. The GPU is 8 gig of RAM with DDR5 memory, but I definitely think it'll be good for my uses, especially with installing something like EMU deck for emulating old game consoles, because I do have some modded consoles here in my home office that allow me to back up my game discs, so I can move them onto this and be able to play them on my TV. In some instances, I'm happy that they went with a very specific spec for this, so developers have a point to develop a game for. But I do wish the GPU had at least 12 gig of RAM. I know the RAM can be upgraded, at least right now that seems to be the case, is its DDR5 SODIMM laptop memory. The GDDR6 is obviously soldered. I do believe the RDNA 3 GPU, however, is actually in this CPU, even though the CPU and GPU use separate RAM. But honestly, it'd be pretty good for me, because honestly, when I'm gaming, I'll probably just set the games to 1440p on it anyways, because it's the only way I can get 120 hertz out of my 4K HDR TV. I can then just do 4K HDR for like watching my backups of my 4K Blu-rays. But The NVMe is upgradable, micro SD card slot, 17 individually addressable RGB lights. That I do like, because just say if I'm downloading a game, I can let the RGB display on the front of it show me my download progress. Of course, it is SteamOS, so Arch-based KDE Plasma. This is definitely something I'm looking forward to. The SteamFrame, the thing that gets me on this is standalone VR, kind of like the MetaQuest, except letting me install my own PC VR games in Steam. You know, this is something I do look forward to checking out. It'll probably be my first and only VR headset, because I've been waiting for something that is more geared and actually compatible with Linux. So I'm glad that Valve is fixing that up. Now this, it has this wireless dongle to make the streaming from a PC to the VR headset faster, and the foveated streaming, so it'll lower the bit rate for surrounding things that you're not looking at and increase the bit rate for where you're actually looking, so that you get nice, good, low latency streaming from a high-end PC. Built-in speakers, obviously. So that is something I do like to look at, and it does use single AA batteries for 40 hours per controller. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, inputs for non-Steam VR games, and it's the TMR analog sticks, but supports standalone play, Snapdragon 8 processor with 16 gig of RAM. So that'll be nice. I'll be able to play Half-Life Alyx. And there is a developer kit. Okay, so that'll come in handy for people that are wanting to make games specifically for this as a standalone machine. ARM64, 16 gig of unified DDR5. Okay, rechargeable lithium-ion battery, 2160 by 2160 LCD, 72 to 144 hertz refresh rate. 144 is experimental, but I bet you that'll become standard at some point. Wi-Fi 7. Yep, wireless adapter included in the box is Wi-Fi 6E, 6 gigahertz. That's where it's going to stream from a computer. Let me know, what do you guys think? Do you think this is good for Valve? I honestly can't wait to actually honestly get the Steam machine. That's probably the thing I'm looking forward to most. And the controller. Maybe let me know what you think all these individual things are going to cost. Comment below what your thoughts are on what Valve just announced today. Like, subscribe, comment below, share the video, and I will see you in the next video. Later.